Dan Abram reporting for Inside Lacrosse at UMBC, where I just saw a huge upset. The UMBC Retrievers, perhaps channeling the success of the basketball team, just stunned the #1 team in the country, the Albany Great Danes, 11-7. Albany dominated at the faceoff X as they usually do, with T.D. Earland going 19 for 21 at the faceoff X. But overall, the Danes could not find the rhythm offensively throughout the night and shot the ball less than stellar. Tommy Ligner for UMBC came up huge in this game, the goalie netting 16 saves on the night. Of course, the Albany Great Danes without Connor Fields and Justin Ray in this game. Coach Scott Marr confirmed that both should be back by Albany's next game against Binghamton in over a week's time.
This is Peter Katrumpis reporting for Inside Lacrosse inside a darkened Keenan Stadium following a 15-12 win by the Virginia Cavaliers over the North Carolina Tar Heels, a big ACC win for the visitors from Charlottesville. Earning the win for the first time in the last several years over the Tar Heels, it was a big win as emphasized by head coach Lars Tiffany. The Tar Heels came out in playing both a man and zone defense that both tried to counter an effective and powerful Cavaliers offense led by Mike DeMario's 4 goals and Michael Krause's 3, along with 3 more from Ian Laviano. Both goalkeepers in the game were effective, as Alex Rode made 10 saves and Alex Basil made 12 for the Tar Heels, but it was too little too late for the Tar Heels as they lost their 6th in a row.
This is Joseph Sanliquido coming to you from Villanova Stadium, where number 4th ranked Denver dismantled number 7th ranked Villanova 22-6. The Pioneers did it by receiving career best games from Ethan Walker, who scored 8 goals, and from Trevor Batiste, who came up with a career best 27 face-off wins. The Pioneers wanted to prove a point in this game, and indeed they did. They scored 18 goals in the first half and scored a season-best 22 for the game. Some of the Pioneers felt that they were receiving some disrespect on a national level. They wanted to make a statement, and they made one.
It's Christian Sweezy from Inside Lacrosse. The final score, Johns Hopkins 13, Ohio State 10 from Baltimore. The Blue Jays run their winning streak to 7 consecutive games after starting the season 1-2. Sophomore Cole Williams led the way with 4 goals for Johns Hopkins. The Blue Jays in that winning streak have scored at least 8 goals in the second half of every game, and they did so again on Saturday against a very good Ohio State defense that entered averaging only 8.8 goals for the entire game. In the second half, the Blue Jays reached that total on only 17 shots. For Ohio State, sophomore Trey Leclerc scored 3 goals, and freshman Justin Inacio added 19 of 27 faceoff wins to keep the Buckeyes competitive. But the final score, Johns Hopkins 13, Ohio State 10.
Kyle Lever here for Inside Lacrosse. We are post-game after BU pulls up a stunning comeback, wins 8-7 against Patriot League foe Army on a goal from Ryan Hilburn with 29.5 seconds left in the game. The Terriers did not lead at all until that goal. Army was mostly in control, offensively and defensively, blocking shots. It was a frustrating game for both teams, but in the end, BU comes out with a huge victory in Patriot League play. They're alive for a playoff spot still in a wild, wild league in Division I men's lacrosse.
Patrick McEwen here in South Bend, where Duke defeated Notre Dame 8-2. The score indicates it was a defensive struggle. Really hurt that Notre Dame was missing 2 of their top scorers. Brendan Gleason was out with an injury, and Brian Costabile, in a surprise, missed the game, and Notre Dame didn't disclose the reason why he missed the game, but he was on the sidelines in street clothes for the duration. Notre Dame managed just 6 shots on goal all game. Danny Fowler saved 4 of them for Duke. And Duke on the offensive end really got production from a lot of different guys. They had 9 different players put up a point. No one had more than 2. Gutterding, as usual, led the way with 2 goals for the Blue Devils. And Notre Dame once again struggled on the man up. They went 0 for 3 after going 0 for 8 last week against Syracuse. So they're really searching for some answers offensively here in South Bend.
Jeff Teat continues to play unbelievable lacrosse. The sophomore led Cornell to a 15-11 win against Harvard with a stat line that is just downright unfair. Teat had 12 points. His 4 goals came on 8 shots. His 8 assists went to 4 different teammates, and he had 0 turnovers and 3 ground balls. He's leading a resurgent Cornell team that has won 4 straight and is sitting comfortably at 3-1 in the Ivy League. Paul Rasimowicz won 19 of 30 faceoffs. Goalie Christian Knight was back between the pipes with 8 saves. Jordan Dowiak had a hat-trick, as did Jonathan Donville, and Clark Peterson had 2 goals and 2 assists. A visit from Syracuse is up next for the Big Red.
Patrick McEwen here in South Bend, where Duke defeated Notre Dame 8-2. The score indicates it was a defensive struggle. Really hurt that Notre Dame was missing 2 of their top scorers. Brendan Gleeson was out with an injury, and Brian Costabile, in a surprise, missed the game. And Notre Dame didn't disclose the reason why he missed the game, but he was on the sidelines in street clothes for the duration. Notre Dame managed just 6 shots on goal all game. Danny Fowler saved 4 of them for Duke. And Duke on the offensive end really got production from a lot of different guys. They had 9 different players put up a point. No one had more than 2. Gutterding, as usual, led the way with 2 goals for the Blue Devils. And Notre Dame once again struggled on the man up. They went 0 for 3 after going 0 for 8 last week against Syracuse. So they're really searching for some answers offensively here in South Bend.
This is Joseph Sanliquido coming to you from Lehigh, where Loyola beat the Mountain Hawks 16-10. The Greyhounds got off to a 7-0 start and never looked back. They got great support from junior Pat Spencer, who scored 4 goals and had 3 assists, and the great freshman face-off work done by Bailey Savio. Loyola now moves to 5-1 in the Patriot League, while Lehigh drops to 5-2.
Robert Morris earned a key conference win, clipping Hobart in overtime 10-9. Matt Schmidt's lone goal of the day was the game winner off a feed from Carter Yepsen. Adrian Torek-Orban had a hat-trick, and Ryan Smith and Tyson Gibson scored 2 apiece. John Wagner scored his 4th game winner of the year, this time with 32 seconds left in overtime as the Golden Eagles took down St. John's 11-10. The goal was Wagner's 3rd, matched by Jack Zarello, who also added an assist. But Cole Blazer may have made the biggest impact on the game, coming up with 16 stops in the win. Princeton's potent offense carried them to a 16-8 win over Stony Brook. Chris Brown and Austin Sims put up matching 4-goal, 1-assist performances. Phenom Michael Sowers matched their goal production and added 5 assists on top for a 9-point day. Penn fought back from an 8-2 halftime deficit, but ultimately fell to Brown 10-9. George Grell led the way for Bruno with a hat-trick. Kevin McGeary had 3-1 for the Quakers. Yale bounced back from a Tuesday loss with a 17-7 thumping of Dartmouth. Jackson Morrell piled up 5 goals and 2 assists, and Matt Godek canned 4 goals and a helper as well. Ben Reeves dished out 4 assists to go with his lone goal.
Thanks for checking out the Epic Game Day recap. Make sure to come back to InsideLacrosse.com for all the stats, scores, and news that you crave. And make sure to go to EpicLacrosse.com and check out what all of our friends up in Minnesota are producing for the latest and greatest lacrosse gear.